Let me welcome all the delegates here. In the morning session, I was not here. I had to go urgently to Delhi. This morning, I took a flight and I'm here with you. So, welcome on behalf of the state government of Goa. A lot of theory has been talked about on smart city by our colleague Rajiv Vidvanshi and other friends. A presentation on Delhi has already been made. I have attended 2 international conferences in Delhi last year. One last year, one this year, which were organized on smart cities by Ministry of Urban Development in association with World Bank. As an estimate, I think it's a thought to ponder over. About 6 million lives are lost in India every year because of insanitary conditions, because of poor quality of water supply, because of lack of hygiene, because of lack of sanitation, because of lack of educational facilities. These precious lives are lost. Now, what is the cost? Each human life cannot be valued. So the concept of a smart city, as we are talking about, it's very easy to develop a smart city in a greenfield situation, which answers all those questions, which addresses all those problems, and also creates, if not world class, at least satisfactory level of infrastructure facilities. The roads, the transportation, the water supply, the drinking water supply, the sewerage system, everything should become smart. When we say smart, what do we mean? If there is a power supply, it should be 24/7 available. It should be, if it is available, it should be quality power. The water supply should be 24/7. When we say that, that means potable water, dependable water, depending on the LPCD norms fixed by the government. And then, when we talk of providing services, it should be properly metered by smart meters. And then, when we talk of billing, it should be paid online. In a greenfield situation, we can develop smart cities, but the challenges are enormous. Everybody knows. I am sure 50% of the people who are sitting here, they don't come from metro towns. We have seen the plight of those B and C grade cities and towns in the country, which are getting worse from one day to another. Their plight is, we cannot even fathom to the level of the problem that the citizens are facing. There is in-migration, creation of all illegal colonies, unauthorized slums, people living in sanitary conditions, lack of sewerage facility, lack of roads, lack of social infrastructure, all is having its toll. The challenges in the cities, like Varanasi has been talked about, I will talk about Panjim city, which is a historical city. Since we are here, there will be answers. We have to find the answers for retrofitting these cities. A survey was conducted in Delhi, in east part. I think ma'am was talking about Delhi. I have long experience of working in Delhi. For about 30 years I have been there. After Lalita Park, that tragedy, the house which collapsed, we conducted a survey with the help of IIT Delhi people, and 10,000 houses were surveyed, ma'am. None of the house could withstand the structural stability. So if, God forbid, if there is an earthquake, what we had in Nepal, the tragedy will be enormous. We cannot imagine. So the challenge in a city like Delhi, which is the national capital, is how to make those houses worthy of safe living. So retrofitting is a solution. Can we make that part of the city smart? Is a question that is to be answered by those experts who are working in this field. Our problem is, when we find solution to a problem, I feel another problem emerges. A decision was taken by the government of Delhi to make the ring road signal free. What happened? We created more than 40 flyovers. Immediately after, as you descend from the flyover, there is a traffic jam. So one solution needs to another problem. So that problem needs to be solved. Now, I am just leaving these thoughts for all of you to ponder over. And since I am here, I would talk about certain things, what we are thinking about Goa. We have projected Panjim city to the government of India to be taken up in the first lot, because in any case it will qualify, being a state capital, being a city on the coastline, being a city of tourism importance. Definitely, we also don't have 100% sewerage facility in the Panjim city. Sewerage, 24/7 water supply. Our power supply is very, very good. no doubt about it. But still we are thinking that if this city could be provided 100% sewerage coverage. So we are aiming to get some of the projects on PPP mode or on viability gap funding. The details are being worked out. I hope people are aware. Ministry of Urban Development have already drafted a guideline which is available on their website. It will be finalized very shortly. It will pave way for picking up the projects. The municipalities, the cities will have to compete at the national level as far as projects are concerned. And once the project is finalized by the government, then they will decide the mode of funding the projects. So I wish you all a success in this direction, and I hope the challenges which are faced by all of us in urban management are addressed, and this conference, which is basically focused on IT, the IT solutions will come to help solve many of problems. Thank you.
I'd like to have a question session from the people out there. Sir is here, and the panel, and elite panel is here. There are distinguished guests on the panel. I would request all of you, any of you, to please raise up a question if you have regarding smart cities and role of IT in smart cities. So, out to those people.
Actually, I just want to flag the difference. Let's say कि about 8 to 9 years back when we used to do the designing, the IT used to, I think, come the last of it. Either they used to put their own wire, और बाद में Wi-Fi आ गया, और बहुत अगर advanced भी चल रहे हैं, used to be a dedicated thing which could be hired by IT companies. Now in the smart city, that will be the first thing that will be thought. So this is the difference between the two. If earlier when we were designing the city, IT was one of the last. In the smart cities, probably it will be the first thing which will gain the attention of the policy makers.
One question, yeah. My name is D'Souza. My question is regarding, we are all discussing about the smart cities, but what about the smart communities to support the smart cities? Is there any direction in this regard?
Can you please come again with the question?
The question is, smart cities, of course, is discussed a lot, but what about smart communities?
Maybe ma'am would answer.
Actually, you know, up till now, the thinking of the Indian citizen has been that everything will be done by the government. I think by the way of smart communities, we actually mean that the citizen will also become more responsible. Somewhere I feel that will go and dovetail with Swachh Bharat, because it actually boils down to the fact that Indians have to develop a greater sense of civic sense. So this is what my feeling is.
See, when I was working in Delhi urban development, we had just developed the concept of RWA, Resident Welfare Association. So people in cities come from different backgrounds, from various parts of the country. They settle for various reasons. And when living in a place, they have to develop, or that becomes their community. So that RWA becomes a role for integrating that community. And how you take the concept forward, whether to present your problems to the government, to the local government, and how you can just live like a community, take care of each other. Share and care ideas, because they don't live separately. You're part of a building. So one issue, if you are a part of the building, and if your neighbor has an AC, you don't have an AC, so this becomes an issue. So everybody has to get along. So the community living is an important concept, I think there was a program on the radio which was started after that. Mrs. Sheila Dikshit was the chief minister, so which linking the communities. And there were a lot of meetings used to happen regularly with the RWAs. Their problems were presented to the state government, and all the organizations which were working in silos like MCD, big organizations, the problems were taken across to them. So these, cutting across the hierarchies, the verticals, institutional hierarchies is a big challenge. And that is the real challenge, where you feel secure, you be connected to each other in a living area. I think that answers the thing. Okay.
Maybe I would like to add a point to what Rajiv sir and Namrita ma'am said. मैं नॉर्थन इंडिया की एक सिटी में ट्रैवल कर रहा था, तो मेरे को एमबीबी के मैंने एक सीनियर इंजीनियर साहब से पूछा, मैंने कहा कि आपके यहाँ ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रीट है, हम लोग वी वर ऑन अ राउंड, तो मैंने बोला कि यहाँ पे मतलब मैं काफ़ी दूर तक देख रहा हूँ कि सोडियम वेपर लैंप्स लगाए हुए हैं, एलईडी नहीं है, बाकी पूरे शहर में एलईडी है। तो कहने लगा साहब यहाँ तो हमारे यहाँ चोरी हो जाते हैं जी, वो ले जाते हैं घर पे, या तो अपने झुग्गी में लगाते हैं या फिर अपनी जीपों में लगाते हैं। अब दिस इज द थिंग दैट इज हैपनिंग विद एलईडी लाइट्स ऑफ street LED lights. So it is upon there is a civic sense that should be developed, and it should come from within self, जो कि हमें स्मार्टर कम्युनिटी बनाएगा। स्मार्टर कम्युनिटी जहाँ होगी वहाँ स्मार्टर अडेप्टेबिलिटी ऑफ स्मार्ट सिटीज भी होगी।
I think one concept could be that like the extension of the RWA is that the people living in a particular colony or building could form like a social group, intranet, and with their the mobile phone, they're connected to each other. They can exchange their problems for make a solutions. I think that would be a good way.
जहाँ ना स्मार्ट कम्युनिटी की बात होती है, अभी सर ने जैसे बोला, मुझे एकदम याद आया कि हमने मध्य प्रदेश में एक चालू किया हुआ है कि हम लोग जब कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग करते हैं तो म्यूनिसिपल इंजीनियर्स होते हैं, अर्बन डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर में या किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट में इंजीनियर्स होते हैं, तो हम उनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग करते हैं, उनकी कॉन्फ्रेंसेज में, उनको वर्कशॉप्स में इन्वॉल्व करते हैं। मध्य प्रदेश में हमने चालू किया हुआ है, RWAs के जो हेड होते हैं उनको हम मंथली वर्कशॉप्स के लिए बुलाते हैं, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस के लिए बुलाते हैं, उसमें हम लोग उनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग करते हैं, जिससे कि दे शुड नो, लाइक इफ यू टेल देम अबाउट एलईडी लाइट्स एंड एफिशिएंसी एंड एवरीथिंग। हमने उनको मोबाइल टॉयलेट्स, पब्लिक टॉयलेट्स और सुलभ शौचालय वगैरह के बारे में भी गेव देम वर्कशॉप्स एंड कॉन्फ्रेंसेस, एंड वेरी फ्रीक्वेंट। ऐसा नहीं कि एक का टर्न निकल गया तो आफ्टर एन ईयर, एवरी बाई मंथली देयर इज दिस थिंग कि एक एरिया के किसी ना किसी RWA के प्रेसिडेंट या सेक्रेटरी या किसी की टर्न आती है, सो दैट देयर इज अ ट्रिकल डाउन इफेक्ट कि हमने उनको ट्रिकल किया तो उनसे फिर उनकी कम्युनिटी को ट्रिकल हो। तो एक कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग लोकल इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स की एज वेल एज विद द RWAs, वी हैव टू डू दैट, एंड वी हैव स्टार्टेड इन MP। अब देखते सर कैसे इंप्लीमेंट कर पाते हो उसको।
Hello. One more point I would like to add. When we say smart community, everybody must have seen that the facilities are created by the government or the local bodies for the general public, but due to lack of poor civic sense, these facilities are not maintained. You create a toilet, go after 3 days, see the condition. In Delhi, before the Commonwealth Games, Municipal Corporation of Delhi had set up waterless urinals. A new technology had come, candle-based waterless urinals. Some sample toilets were created, and after 10 days, me and my commissioner, municipal commissioner, we went for inspection in Paharganj area, and we saw people doing potty over there. So I think there is a lot which needs to be done, and this is something which should start from the very early part of their life at the primary school level. So here we can talk about it. We created anti-littering laws, but you see what happens everywhere. After the functions are over, go and see those grounds, how dirty they are. So when we talk of developing smart cities, the point which has been raised is very, very valid. We must also focus our attention how to create smart communities and how to inculcate the better civic sense so that we can present ourselves in a neat and clean atmosphere. Thank you.
Thank you for that, sir. I'm Dr. Dias from Goa, and I would like to congratulate all the panelists for the wonderful presentation. Just a comment, not a question, is that when we're thinking of smart cities, we should also think of disabled-friendly cities and cities that are friendly for the elder community, because this is the future. We would have to have cities that would make it easier for the elders to roam around. Thank you.
Well, I'll just take this. Well, this
you answering something? Yeah, I'm Subhash Fallisai, Chairman IT. My question to the Chief Secretary here, particularly when we are trying to have IT park just near the prime city and the capital city of Goa, Panjim, we need to analyze the impact that is going to happen because it's very close to the capital city here. And in these directions, we would have to have the details and the data, how many families will come and stay around, and for them the health facilities, the education facilities, all infrastructure need to be created. And my second question is, all those people who come for the infrastructure creation, they don't migrate, and how to take care about all those families which are not required after their presence is not required after a particular assignment or a job is done, but they still go and make this environment polluted and congestion happens. Primarily we see, in fact, if it takes place in Goa, we have to literally put off our working force or our offices closed because it is the congestion. So how are we going to address about the IT park which is very near to the Panjim city? So.
I think very good question. This definitely raises important issue of creating social infrastructure along with developing the IT park. As you are already aware, sir, this park is located very close to the Panjim town, maybe within 5 to 7 kilometers, and on the national highway. So the families who will be definitely moving because of the development of these IT industry here, I am sure that they will find themselves parked somewhere near the Panjim town. They are necessarily not going to be accommodated there. So as far as city is concerned, city provides ample, amount of infrastructure in terms of housing, water facilities, schools, other social infrastructure. There should not be any shortage on that account. But your second point is more valid. What happens at the time then the industry, grows there, construction activities are there, a lot of migrant labor, other people they come. Generally what happens when the project is over, these people are left over and then they are just creating slum type of habitation. I think with proper management, IT department and the PWD, we should be able to control that situation. And the moment, these things are noticed, we should be, taking task at the proper time. I don't think there will be any problem in terms of shortage of water supply, electricity and other civic infrastructure facilities over there, sir. We are properly planning it, sir. Thank you.
Actually, the way we were planning cities earlier, different land uses, that we are a housing land use, we have industrial land use, we have commercial land use. So we are actually, what we are observing very closely in Delhi, that we are moving away from it. We are moving into mixed use development, that the place where we live is the place where we work. So a lot of these problems regarding transport is taken care of in this system. Thank you.
I'll add one more point. This concept of mixed land use and the land use policy, this is very crucial for the urban development and you plan the cities and settlements. Delhi's example is that they said that this is the use, you have segregated uses, and then if you change the use, it is a violation and there will be a penalization. And now they have come across to mixed land use. They have come across. It's I think they came late, but they learned the process. But in Goa, I remember very clearly, is that we did not have we have a mixed land use policy. And when the problem happened in the Mid-East, most of the people in Goa are working in the Mid-East, and they were thrown out of job, and they certainly had to come back in large numbers. And the mixed land use policy helped them actually to settle and start a business. I think that would be help in a big way. Thank you.
One last question, if anyone has to speak. One last.
Sir, Goa being a very, very small state, there has always been this issue of garbage, garbage disposal. It's a very small state. It's been very susceptible to this. So, but apart from garbage disposal, there is another problem, is of garbage collection. And I'm saying this because I belong to Pendem Taluka, and it's basically more or less in North Goa. It's a very, very it's basically villages, small villages with houses spread across in small communities. So is there any plans on basically, an organized garbage collection? Because typically this problem becomes much more acute during the tourist season. So 6 months, the problem is always there, but 6 months a year, the problem becomes even more acute because of the tourist season, where a much larger amount of garbage is generated. And it's a very, very, it's a very beautiful, as a very beautiful state. So there are, from where I look at it, there are two parts of the problem. One is, of course, garbage disposal in a small state like this. The second part is garbage collection. Thank you.
I think 2-3 months ago, the government has drafted its own action plan for disposal of solid waste. And we have already filed an affidavit in the National Green Tribunal, Delhi. And door-to-door collection of segregated waste is the norm as provided under the rules. All the village panchayats and all the municipalities have been given direction to put in place a mechanism within 3 months' time. Some of the municipalities have fallen in line. You are based in Goa, you must be knowing Madgaon till 6 months ago had enormous problem. They have 20 wards in the municipal council. All 20 wards have fallen in line. They are now collecting door-to-door segregated waste. Panjim Municipal Corporation was already doing it. Other municipalities have started. They are taking off. Panchayats, there is a little bit of problem. There are issues. We have collected, we have distributed them bins, separate, household wise, so that the people can give their waste in segregated form. Then the collection mechanism already put in place. This is as far as collection is concerned. Within 6 months, I hope the situation will improve. As regards disposal is concerned, government has planned to set up 2 plants. One in Saligaon, already the work has started. One will come up in Kakora. 100 TPD per shift, 8-hour shift capacity we are going to create there. Our basic problem is plastics. Now on the plastics, we have already entered into an agreement with one Chennai-based company, MK Aromatics Limited. They will be taking care of collection of all the plastics, because all our beaches are full with plastic bottles, pets and all those things. So they have also decided to set up a facility in Perne, and that again will help in creating some sort of facility which will give us oil as the residue, and the government will earn some sort of receipts out of it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Mr. Shashank to close up the session.
Thank you, Mr. Govt. Thank you very much, respected Chief Secretary and the esteemed panelists on stage for this very crucial discussion on building smart cities. And we had the perspectives from across all the states, and also we got to listen to Honorable Chairman of Infotech Corporation Goa also about the idea of smart city in Panjim as well. So with a note of thanks, I request Honorable Chief Secretary to present a memento to our esteemed panelists as a token of thanks. To start with Ms. Namrata Kalsi, who is Deputy Chief Architect of Delhi Metro Corporation. A round of applause for Mrs. Kalsi. Then Shri Rajiv Yadwanshi, Commissioner cum Secretary, Department of Urban Development, Andaman and Nicobar Administration. Shri Prashant Chaudhary, Senior Director, Sales, Government, CA Technologies. And last but not the least, our moderator, Shri Gaurav Jaisinghania, in charge of Smart City Cell, Bhopal Municipal Corporation. I request Mrs. Kalsi to present a memento to Chief Secretary Sir as well for his very thought-provoking address on this concept of smart cities, and letting us know that smart community is rather more important to build smart cities. Then I request all the esteemed panelists for a group photo with the mementos, and then we will move on to the next topic, which is role of software technology parks in India, with the role of STPI, Software Technology Parks of India, in promoting